Hi, it's Tanesha.
And it's Kiara.
And you're now entering the sister chat. Welcome to Main Event Mamas.
And today we have a special guest joining us, ultimately. I know we have told you guys about our family. You've heard all about us. But we also said we were a trio, right? And so this is the 1/3 half of our trio. Our sister Kevelyn is joining us for today's conversation. So let's welcome Kevelyn.
Yay! You see all the shades of chocolate? I'm just saying. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
Here she goes. So we're back today, and we're excited to kick off our life episode. But before we get started, this is your moment to hit that subscribe button. So you're first to hit the content. When it hits your box, you'll be first to know exactly what we talked about and when we talked about it. And also maybe first to tell us we were wrong. But whatever, you people on YouTube, we appreciate you too. And for correcting us on anything you feel needs to be corrected.
Especially Instagram.
Especially Instagram. So, for our life episode today. Oh, also, I want to tell you this about Kevelyn too, because I think you guys should know. She's highly qualified to participate in our parenting, adulting, and wrestling episodes. But in particular, she is a mother of... Tell us, Kevelyn.
I'm a mother of 5.
5 children.
Yes.
She look like she's a mother of 5. She don't look like she's a mother of 5. She just, yeah.
So for the people out there who like to call us youngins, I guess you see how it runs in the family that we look super young. But anyway, for today's episode, we had a really deep conversation earlier today, and it kind of spoke to us in a sense of like what, as parents, we're dealing with, right? So for this week's parenting pinfall, the thing that literally took us out, we are talking about sleepovers, Playdates, and the art of letting go. That's what we're doing today.
Oh, I like that. The art of letting go.
Yes. So I'm going to give you a little background on this, y'all. So y'all just bear with me a little bit. So I have a girl child who has asked multiple times to start spending time with people at their houses. And that's a no-go for me. I will take you pretty much to the moon if you want. And you can invite your friend. But going to their house, not something I'm super comfortable with. But it's not just me. It's kind of how I grew up too, right? Like I very, very rarely got to go and spend time at other people's houses at all. However, in this day and age, it's just a trickier subject. And it was something I definitely sought counsel on for both my sisters because I was like, am I crazy? Am I crazy for saying no? Because I think there's a lot of dangers that delve into once you get into other people's houses. Like, I don't know their parents that well. Like, do they have weapons in the house? Do they have alcohol in the house? Like, I'm a teenager. So whatever she could get into, she gonna try probably at least once to see how that goes. However, I just feel like there's a lot of anxiety that I have kind of going through that. And so I kind of want to bring us together to talk about a little bit of that issue itself, like sleepovers, playdates, letting go, and how we're able to navigate it in a different point of views on it, because obviously we had some different point of views. There was someone who I'm not going to point out who was like, you need to go ahead and just let her go, and I was like, that's just not going to happen.
That's not what I said exactly. That's not what I said exactly.
I like how she outed herself, and I didn't have
I sure did, because that's not exactly what I said. If you're going to tell the story right. I didn't say it all like that.
So what did you say again?
I said that you may need to lessen up a little bit and let her do things outside the house. But I did agree with you that if your gut is telling you that they shouldn't be over there, then she shouldn't be over there. But I was also telling you that I think you should let her out the house, just like how we all used to. No, without you. Just like how we used to all take walks. We left the house and Daddy wasn't with us.
You're forced.
Mom wasn't,
as we discussed previously.
It doesn't matter about us being forced. We still did it. We explored.
We were forced. It was not a willing.
Well, learn from me You don't want to be kept in a bubble forever because what ends up happening, you start doing crazy stuff at certain ages.
So like I said, I do let her out the house, Nisha. Thank you very much. It's not like I keep her chained inside the house. She goes out. She goes with her friends. She has activities. She's in a freaking play. I mean, and we'll talk more about that later. But like multiple plays, to be honest. But so it's not as though I keep her chained in the house. And we do family activities. We do a lot of them. So I disagree with your assessment, period. She's not chained to the house.
I didn't say she was chained to the house. I also said for you not to go.
Yeah, okay. You got funds for her to take?
I didn't say that we have funds for anything. We had to learn how to sit here. But then too, we also had a job. So that reminds, it's one of those things. We still had a job. But you want to know who didn't have a job? That one over there, who keeps sitting here saying facts. She had no job. Now while we had a job, you had no job.
She was younger.
Exactly. Okay. So you didn't have to spend no money. We had to spend our money on you.
I'm pretty sure Dad gave us some money to spend if we needed on her. The time we went gold. Anyway, the point is, people, contrary to popular belief.
I'm sorry.
The point is, there's a lot of things to think about. So as we think about having kids stay at other people's houses, and we think about play dates, like, what are the specific modern anxieties parents face regarding their kids in other people's homes? And I know I mentioned a couple, but are there any that, like... So clearly, we have thoughts when, your kids could be staying at other people's houses. And one of the things, like, I like to consider, and I know we mentioned a few, like, what are the specific modern anxieties that parents face regarding their kids in other homes? And then, like, I know I mentioned some, but like I said, we'll keep going. But also tell me if you did think that was different from when we were growing up, right? So I know I mentioned, like, guns or alcohol, but what are some other things that might make you anxious to have your kids stay at other people's houses? We'll let Kevelyn start since she's new here.
Okay. Well, one of the things that are a challenge for me with letting the kids go other places is not everybody's raised the same. And what I mean by that is, in our household, we're a Christian household, and so we do things a certain way. They don't watch certain things. They're not allowed to listen to certain things. And when they are going to other people's houses, you can't control that as much.
Yep.
So that's something that I have struggled with, I will admit, with allowing my kids to go certain places, because I just don't want them exposed to certain things that I'm not ready for them to be exposed to.
That's right.
So I think that that's something that is prevalent nowadays.
I think so too. What do you think, Tanesha?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think for sure, one thing is like, I think for me is perfect timing if they got pets, even though I have pets, but not everybody's pets equally the same. You got some that, can be mean to other people, or I have the youngest. He's scared of dogs, but he wants one. Well, he's scared of something that is not small. So, so like things like that. So if we go somewhere and if they have like a pet that we're not familiar with, they're not familiar with, then no. I guess maybe because my oldest doesn't really go anyplace, I ain't worried about the alcohol and stuff at the house, because I also know he's not one to want to take. Just from past experiences or people experience that. So he's not one like, oh, I'm going to do that. He'll look at you like crazy. Now, the other children, I don't know. When I get to the girl child, when she get, I don't know. All her friends need to come over here.
Oh. Did you hear that?
I did.
I heard
hold on. Wait.
I heard it.
I felt a little judged there for a minute, and then we're being a little hypocritical right now. Okay, as you were saying.
Okay, the reason. All right, fine. I eat my words.
And one.
They just say it depends on the child.
I think
it does. There we go. It depends on the child.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and the reason why I say the girl child is because the girl child is me in mini form. Now, once again, when I say pause, I'm talking about I'm not saying I was out here in these streets wilding. However, there could have been true potential if I had guidance. So, I want to make sure my girl child continue having guidance. So I understand what you're saying about your girl child. And I never said that she should go over to the people's house. But I do think, like, I will allow... No, I don't. I don't let her walk outside by herself either. All right, cool. I eat my words. My bad.
So I said it, and you see what just happened. Anyway, so I'll wrap that up a little bit, and I'll further get into that. I absolutely think, like, all the things you said, it definitely depends on your child, right? Because it's my boy child. I let him go to people's houses. This is the hypocritical part of me sharing that. I let him go to people's houses. Even though I met their parents, like, I had to, like, vet everybody. I was, I did my FBI search, make sure there's no outstanding warrants or anything like that. But I did the work to make sure. But this friend, she's asking about here. She has snakes, and, like, I like her mom, actually.
Nothing wrong with snakes.
I like her mom, and I like, the lady that I met, and I thought she was wonderful, but I just feel there's something about girl children in particular. I think that's also the thing that I take to heart. And, she's had a lot of health challenges. So it's just, to me, I keep her in a pretty curated environment at this point. I think also because it's taken so long to get her well, right? So I think that's also a piece of me, like, not wanting to let her go and do that. That being said, because I'm still, like, we're still working up dietary things, right? I'm still preparing her meals. I'm still doing, like, we're still working through that too. So to me, it just makes it easy to put her in a controlled environment at this point. This is not to say when she's a little bit older, I might reconsider it, but I was never a child who got in trouble when I was at people's houses because I was just scared my mom would find out and she was scary, or that dad would find out and he was scary. And so I just didn't want to find myself in that situation ever under any circumstances. So I was good at everybody's house. I never drank, I never smoked, I didn't do nothing because I was scared. I feel like that healthy fear is important. But you see these side eyes I'm getting from over the corner over there. It's fine. I rightfully admit happily that I was very, very good at that time in my life.
I'm just gonna sip tea because
Yeah, we don't want to get into them stories because, as you saw, we was looking sideways a little bit because I remember things a little bit differently. so that being said, but I also think, to be fair, is it fair to say that nowadays things are a little bit different than when we grew up? Because I think when our parents let us go to people's houses and things, like, there was already so much education around us. Like, I grew up on the Rescue 911s. I grew up on the, like, America's Most Wanted. I grew up on cops and all the things. So forensic files and unsolved mysteries. I felt like all of those were good ways to make sure you wasn't gonna get lost. Because
that unsolved mystery.
That you never knew what happened to them people. You never knew. Nice. So I didn't want to be on that episode either. So that's it. Even though I know we told y'all we was almost a Dateline episode, and yes, this one was there for that too.
I was.
She was there for the almost to be a Dateline episode, and we didn't want to be on there either. So I think, like, we in our generation when we grew up, there was so much caution, and it was almost like they tried to scare us. Remember all the dares and the, like, the commercials? This is your brain on drugs, and, like, I feel like they did a good job of scaring you. Whereas now, I mean, things are not as scary. They make all that stuff look cool on TV. Like, I don't know if you've seen Euphoria. I've seen a couple clips. I'm not going to pretend I've seen it all.
I love Euphoria.
Yeah, keep trying to get me to watch it. I'm not saying that I've seen the whole show, but shows like that where, sex is highly something that everybody does as a teenager, which I was like, I ain't doing that, but okay. And then, like, drugs are, like, going around and it's all normal. And the reactions are so much different, I feel like, from when I grew up. Or maybe it was curated by the things that we watch. I don't think so. Dad let us watch anything. But still, I feel like that stuff was, like, in your face. You know what I mean? Like, the consequences of things were very much in your face that I don't know that today's kids have that same experience. But what do you guys think?
I I agree with that. I think that a lot of things are just seen as the norm now. And I think that kids get away with a lot more than we got away with. And then I think also too, parenting styles are a little different from when we were growing up. So I think all three of those things kind of tied into one. It's a lot different in my personal opinion than when we grew up because we were scared to death to do anything.
Like, I would have died. That was all I kept thinking.
Legit.
Whereas
That
now
was
it's like, what is it? Fear of missing out, FOMO. They're like, I'm gonna try it or do anything once. Like, I'm not scared.
well. Then also too, you got to think about like all of the different social media
Mm.
things that we really didn't have back then, all of the different
I'm happy we
trends
didn't.
or challenges and all of these different things that kids are doing now. We didn't do that.
No,
And especially not for nobody to know
MySpace was just
about
like
it.
coming up, right? Like MySpace was just coming up. We all had special curated pages. I mean, it required a lot of technical expertise that they don't have to deal with now. But it was just, that was once we hit like teenagehood almost. Like I felt like we were
Yes.
beyond like older, almost college, right? Like late
We,
teens.
we were in college.
Right.
Our sister was not in college.
Well, that's right. So you did have a different experience with social media.
She was in the beginning ages of social media.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, even before MySpace, we had AOL and E and chat rooms.
That was
Oh,
chat
yeah.
rooms though. I mean, did we go try to
Girl.
meet people? No.
I didn't.
Okay, I didn't say we try to meet anybody, but we
Here we
sure
go.
was having fun in the chat rooms. But anyway, I hear what y'all saying because yes, in essence, a lot of things are different. Like even yes, the parenting styles, especially all the stuff. Don't hit your kids. Let's not raise them how we were raised. And I'm like, and look how what's happening. These kids don't know nothing from nothing, and they just be acting crazy. And they be like, oh, where's your parent? Oh, not parenting. Because you want us to be gentle parents. We can't be like, I'm gonna knock you beside your head. Like, you know.
Oh, I'm gonna say that and mean it.
No, but I mean, okay. But I'm saying,
But
as in,
but the widely at large
but
society
the
doesn't
widest
allow
society
that.
is no, and then it's like, you know, you got going to. Oh, this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You gotta be in the corner, Timmy, for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, Timmy, in that corner. Don't
Can
you
I
come
tell
out
you
that
I
corner?
tried
We're
that?
gonna talk about this.
Can I tell you I tried that and that was
I
the
tried that.
last time I tried something like that. Timmy said F this corner and I was like, I'm bringing that belt out. This is it.
And I think that's where the difference is in understanding the difference of parenting, because it's one. We talked about this before. Like the gentle parenting is not for everybody,
No.
and it's not for every kid. And you can mix a little bit of gentle parent and fear based. But I also feel like our parents are that way too. Like at some point, we did get away with some things. Well, I mean, I did, but we did get away with some things to the point where, yes, excuse me. I know we had a healthy fear. I know I had a healthy fear of my mom, that she didn't have to like hit me or whatever, but there were still consequences. I think that's the problem. A lot of kids out here don't have consequences, or their families don't have consequences, which in turn, if our child is over there with you, how do I know what the consequence is, and how I don't know you're not gonna blame my kid and it was probably your kid?
That's fair.
You know
That's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah.
Especially when, and I'm not saying that my kids is perfect and they're not gonna do no wrong, but it's also like there's a lot of parents out here that will not. They will literally like, my kid didn't do that, and you'd be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure, Karen? That never happened."
Karen.
I'm sorry. That was just the name that popped in my head. I wasn't trying to. You know what? I'm gonna stop talking because I'm about to become real crazy. But since y'all got your glasses on, I'm gonna put my glasses on too.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, now that we've established that, I do want to go back a little bit. How do you vet parents? Like for when if you were to decide. I know that we established that, you know, some kids don't go, but I also did say that my boy child, I did let him stay for a brief hour or two before I picked him up. Like, how did you vet? You know, besides my FBI interrogation, my Google searches, and my Google alerts on these people. Like, how did you guys, or how would you recommend vetting families or homes, you know, ahead of like visits with your kids?
Well, You want to go, Kevin?
I can't. I was like, oh, you're good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
So I personally visit houses first
Mm.
and meet parents. Before any sleepovers or anything like that, I need to make sure that they're going to be in a safe space. I need to see who lives with you because that's important. And then, I mean, we just need to have a conversation. Okay, hey, what do you guys allow? Okay, this is what's not, we don't allow this or don't allow that. And just open communication. I think that's something that um, people are maybe a little bit more
Lacking.
lenient. Like
Yeah,
people don't do that anymore. But I think it's healthy.
I think so too. That's an option. I've never tried that. Okay, Tanesha, you tell us.
I mean, for me, when it comes to my kids, the ones that said that they tell me is their best friends are the ones that I decide I need to get their parents' numbers. Because not everybody needs to have my number, and I don't need to have everybody's number because I don't mean that you're going over there. But if that's your best friend, I'm assuming we're going to have something. You're going to want to go over there. You're going to, these kids like to plan things without telling us and then tell us, and you'd be like, how sway?
Gets
So,
canceled.
Because how you getting it?
Gets
like, how
canceled
sway?
with
I
me.
don't understand. When I told them to come over here, who said that? I didn't say that. Did you say who? So perfect example. The girl child, her best friend. They were trying to schedule a play date, so I do play dates. So where we can go outside first, so then I can actually talk to the parents because the parents coming too. So we'll have like our conversations and talk and see. Because if we vibing, then okay, that sounds like I can probably trust you a little bit. Or if we're not vibing, then I'm like, how's my kid and your kid friends? But
Not how much. Sorry.
No, I've been there a time or two. I was
no,
like,
but
I don't like
I'm
this
serious
person.
because you know why? Because like you said, if we're looking at it from a different perspective, these kids are coming from these households, which means their parent or whoever is with them is in their household. So if me and you can't gel and can't mix, then it's going to be like, how is it possible for my kid and your kid to mix? Because they're both products from us.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't make sense, which means maybe there's more to the story that I'm not really, that I don't know. And now I'm gonna have to investigate, ask more questions to my child and say, hey, how did y'all become friends? What ended up happening? Because there's been very happening where some friends were bullies,
Oh.
but then they talked it out, especially with my oldest child. One of his first very best friends was a bully. But then the parents came up to the school and was like, oh, absolutely not. We're not going to have this, da, 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 da. And then they became best friends because the parents was like, oh no, this is not how we raising you. You need to apologize. We're going to fix this. So then that let me know, oh, I can kind of trust you because you're not just taking your kid's word or you not doing that. Now, like I said, with the girl child, just recently, we were supposed to have a play date before school ended. And she made sure I met her friend. Then she brought me and her friend over to her friend's mom and I said, oh, and immediately the mom smiled at me. She goes, they trying to go have a play date, aren't they? And I was like, they are. And
Surprise.
in that moment, just from her smile and her warmth, I can sense, all right, this is cool. And we're gonna go to the park. All right. Even when I canceled on her because of whatever happened, she was like, okay, no problem. Look, we're gonna be out the country. And I was like, oh, see, that's the communication. Because the other thing too, communication. If we're gonna have communication, then I can do that. Because then we started with play dates first, and then go into bigger things. But would I rather you be at my house? Absolutely. But even with another perfect example, someone who's starting to become my friend, she's my daughter's dance teacher. And she's told me a couple of times, like, because she brings her to dance. And she's like, well, if you want, you can always spend a night. And I said, yo, man, does he spend a night? But like I said, I hope that. But I said, and now I apologize. I said, please. She was like, no, no, no. She goes, I need you to ask those questions. And that's fine. Because I want you to feel comfortable with her being here. So no, if she ever spends a night, he wouldn't be spending the night over here. I don't play that. And I was like, thanks. And the whole shoulder, because I'm going, I don't know, because when you listen to all these stories and all these different things out here, even with people that you date, right? You don't truly know until something happens. And I don't want it to become something happening and I trusted you and you trusting this person,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter's growing up and she's developing and grown men are starting to look at her. I don't want you to be looking at her and be like, oh, let me, no, no, no. So she was like, and don't apologize. And she told me she don't apologize because that's a good question. That's a good question that you ask. And definitely. And if he is going to stay and stuff like that, then she wouldn't, she wouldn't spend a night. I wouldn't do that. Like right now, she's up there right now getting her hair taken out. Her son was down here playing with mine, which was also good too because it was like we have built that relationship enough to where we are comfortable and have an understanding, and I trust that you're not going to let nothing happen to my child. And if something does happen to my child, you're going to address it. I don't have to address it. You're going to address it. And I think that's what we're lacking with a lot of parents out here and how they raise kids, that they don't have the accountability, or they have the mindset of like, it ain't going to happen, so don't worry about it, versus trying to understand where you're coming from, right, without giving so many details. So I think that's definitely the difference between that, for sure.
No, I think you put it pretty well. And actually, sorry, kind of second question about open communication. And I will say one of the things that I do whenever because, even with birthday parties, right? I don't like them. Y'all know me. I'm like, don't make me have to have a birthday party. Like, have fun with your family. But my kids, as they have gotten older, were like, excuse me, I'd like to bring a friend or 7, if it was my son. It was like, I need to bring 5 other people. And I was like, yippee skippy. But I had a conversation with each one of those parents, and I found it very interesting that some of them didn't care to talk to me. Some of them were like, yeah, whatever, my kid knows the details. And I was like, ooh. And I did give my son the side eye, like, we ain't gonna be cool with them people. Then some of them actually showed up on the day and was like, hi, it's great to meet you, Kiara. Like, and we had a long conversation. I was like, when your kids are with me, they're my kids. I was like, I treat them like my kids. I tell them exactly, like, we went to Dave & Buster's. I was like, we have a rule. We have 2 cards. We split the cards between the kids or the parents, or if we have like enough kids. Like, I think that day we had 5 or 6, so we had like 3 cards. My husband and I had a card. The kids had 2 cards to split between them. And I was like, you move as a group. When one moves, I felt like I was a teacher. I was like, when one group moves, the other group moves, and you never lose eyes with each other. I said, you don't leave a person behind. You don't go, I'm going to go play this in the corner and join another group. I said, you better pick the group that suits you well, because you're going to be with them the whole time. And they did. And then, like, we went out to the food court, and it was the same way. And I was like, we move as a unit. You do not decide to go off on your own and go in the mall and do what you do. Because I was like, you don't want me to come looking for you. I tell you that. But I will tell you, I still had an issue with one girl who left. She just left. And I was livid. I mean, I was livid that day. And I told my son, I said, this is why I don't do these things, because I don't like that. Like, you got to be able to follow in directions. But for her father had called her and wanted her to check in with him, because I guess he sat at the bar the whole time talking to people, for what I heard. Yeah. I don't know. I think they was divorced. I don't know. But I was like, sir, this is not what this is for. But anyhow, so he sat at the bar the whole time and then just told his daughter to come and didn't care that she was with us, didn't communicate with us, didn't tell us anything. So eventually, we looked for her for 45 minutes before everyone could leave. Because I was like, no, we don't leave her here. I was like, and the other parents were like, thank you so much. Like, we'll help you. And they helped me look. Like, another 2 parents kind of helped me look through the mall. We were trying to find her. And eventually we found her, and I was lit, let me tell you. And I told my son right then and there, do not invite her again, because she doesn't get to go anywhere with her. And I said, it's unfortunate because she was lovely, but I don't do when you can't follow instructions. Because that tells me that your parents didn't teach you the importance of that. And I don't, you're not getting kidnapped on my watch. So that being said, I feel like you mentioned, open communication and expectations is a really important part. And I know, Kevelyn, you mentioned, having those conversations. And Tanesha, you also mentioned having those conversations. So I very much kind of agree with both of you, and just, wanted to share my experience and why I don't do birthday parties no more either. Though we did one for Dave & Buster's, and that person was lovely, and also followed directions, because I was like, you don't move, because that's also the rule, is whatever you make together, we pool at the end for, the birthday person gets to pick the first thing, and then everybody else, goes down. But that person rolled down. I mean, we had a good time, but it was weird not having that interaction with the parents that I'm used to, because even that was all over text. I was like, your parents don't want to meet me and make sure I'm not a serial killer, or that my husband's not a serial killer. Like, we just gonna pick up your kid from the house and it's okay. Like, that freaked me out. And I was like, maybe that's a Southern thing, but
Definitely not a Southern thing.
I didn't think so either, because I was like, I was in Georgia. I felt like I felt like I should go through the same amount of vetting as I was putting other people through, right? So I don't mind telling you, like, who I am, my name, where we live, what we do, what your kids are going to be exposed to if you come to my house. Like, we have pets, we have a big dog, we have a cat. Are there any allergies? Like, I like interview them. Like, are they allergic to anything? I expect the same thing. So when I don't get that, it makes me feel a little bit anxious about that. You're muted, Chiquita. You're muted.
Sorry. I was
No,
like, I
you're
get
fine.
that.
I was like, yeah. So that's weird to me. I was like, you're not going to interview me? You're not going to, like... It always makes me a little like, I don't know if we trust this person, that you just let their kids go.
Yeah, because even like with the 10-year-old, one of his best friends, their mom sat in that park every day after school, just chopping it up, talking it out. And I was like, all right, cool. We exchanged numbers. We've gotten to the point where, oh, you can't pick them up. Can you pick them up for me? Or when I was, I think last summer or whatever other summer that was, where I was working, but working late. Oh, that yes, when I was working late, my schedule kind of changed temporarily. She was like, "Oh no, they're in the park by themselves. You want me to come pick them up? I can pick them up and we can sit in the park until you come home." I said, "Oh, that's fine." Like that type of communication, to the point even like we were looking at the same schools for them to go to middle school. And granted, she wanted him to stay a little bit closer, and I was like, I do want him to stay closer, but
Not that close.
I also want him to do something that he's actually going to love. See, up here in New York, they have even specialized middle schools, or middle schools that have things that work for them. So, yes, that would have been great because he would have been with his best friend, but girl, no. And what we did on the application was we switched. So she put her top choice that she wanted him to go to, and put the second choice and then I did the top choice he wanted to go to in the second choice. So it was like, either way, either they're going to go together or we're going to get what we want. But we still have a plan in place, because that's the other thing I feel bad too, because most of his other friends are going to the other school, and I'm like, well, we should have had an all group chat. But you know what? I probably still would have picked the same school that he picked, because it has everything he wants in there. Mm-hmm. And I'm also looking at it from a different standpoint. Well, the other two are going to go where he goes. And if I picked the other school, that was an all boys school. The other two could have gone there.
Right.
Well, one of them could have went. Oh, but either way, yes, I think we all should be, like, parents should all want to care. And if you're not caring, even as we were growing up, if their parents didn't care, that also meant we shouldn't be hanging out with them, because that was no.
So yeah, so I think wrapping it up, that entire segment is like, there's a lot to consider when you give your kids to other people, even if it's on a temporary basis in a play date, or, staying the night or anything like that. And ultimately, I think we all have differing views, but I would say that it seems like we all pretty much streamlined that we're not necessarily the most comfortable with that. And if you are going to do something like that, there are things that you have to put in place. Certainly talking about, your expectations, the other parents' expectations, and having that open communication in the long run, so that you can have a relationship with them, they can have a relationship with you, and then help support your kids' friendships as well. All right, now it's time to move on to our adulting topic. It's not that spicy this week, though. This week is the struggle bus, because it feeds a little bit into our kids' topic a bit, because ultimately we're talking extracurriculars. Because as we all know, kids are busy now. This is one of the most busy seasons of children that I've ever experienced. So instead of just, I might have one study group, there's sports and more sports and dance and gymnastics and off season and on season and all the things. And it's costly, but not just costly, it's also time consuming. And it can be a struggle trying to balance that with your own life, especially, this is why it's in the adulting section, because as a mom, dad, caregiver, you're also a human and you have needs as well. So I thought today it would be a good opportunity to talk about the benefits and the drawbacks of kids' extracurriculars, because, I have a different point of view on this. I've kind of kept my kids' schedule a little different, a little lighter intentionally, and I know that you guys have had experiences that are slightly different. But I want to talk a little bit about your experience with extracurriculars. Then we're going to get into the benefits and some of the drawbacks and ask a couple questions about how we handle these. So we're going to let our guests go first again and talk to us about extracurriculars that your kids have participated in that you had to juggle.
So my oldest is a track star. She's amazing at it. But there are track meets like every other day.
That's crazy
It
work.
feels like. And it obviously tied into like your work schedule. So having to be like, let me rearrange these clients so I can go to this track meet. Obviously, being able to have a job like that is helpful, but not everybody does.
That's true.
And then trying to juggle that along with the boys' martial arts, which was like every day. That was a lot. Every
like
evening, pretty much. And it became a lot in my personal experience. But we did what we had to do. So, as parents, as we do.
And so, Tanesha, talk to me a little bit about the extracurriculars your kids participate in.
What? This girl
This was her
child of mine.
topic, by the way, this week, y'all. That we did this for her.
I have to vent, family. We got to vent. I got to vent today. Okay. Just going to put this out there. It's going to be a venting session. I may not stay on topic. I'm going to try my best, but just a vent, because my kids are trying to kill me. Maybe it's a bit dramatic, but that's how I feel. Because the girl child got recital this weekend. But then there's practice. Almost like I was in practice last night until almost 10 o'clock. Okay? First, I couldn't find a place where I need to go. Because we also have to remember, guys, I'm also an assistant dance teacher. Okay? So I'm an assistant dance teacher. So it's not just me going before my daughter. It's going for me. Okay? So I was there after being in... so much. After going to the basketball practice with the other child, the youngest child, he had practice sport practice. It was a lot of running around, and I was tired. Everyone could get it last night. Then I got Friday. Then Saturday all day. The boy child got 2 basketball games and practice in between her sitting here having dress rehearsal on Saturday all day. Then we're going to be at this show that's going to be about 5 hours. Don't get me wrong. I love them. If y'all watching, I love y'all. But I'm just saying.
You said.
Then on top of that, y'all know, family, that, financially I struggle just a little bit. So trying to sit here and got to buy a whole bunch of new stuff for the girl child. Because they want fresh stuff. They want fresh leotards, fresh biker shorts, fresh tights. I understand the tights. You need fresh tights. But
That's fair. Yeah.
But why do you need a whole new set? And then on top of that, there's and make sure they got matching panties and stuff. What? What am I, made out of money? And I still gotta buy these tickets, and these tickets ain't cheap.
I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's not.
It's not.
I know it's not funny, but it's how I'm delivering it, because I have to, because if not, I will cry.
I was gonna say, you gonna cry? I feel you.
Because it's just, and then the girl child gotta get her hair done a certain way. Where does money coming from? The sky? I was working hard today. That's why we in the trenches tonight. But that just, I'm just saying, a sister's burnt out.
Okay, I feel you.
Okay, I'm burnt out. I still got these dreads in my head. You know what? This is about to go into a whole viral venting sensation. I still got these dreads in my head, and they need to come out. Here I am spending money on my child, getting her hair done, and I can't even get mine. This is just craziness. This is what we talk about with parents. We sacrifice us.
That's right. We do. It's hard out here.
Okay? I haven't got my nails done. Y'all, when we first started this a couple months ago, my nails were popping. Now y'all don't see my hands because I don't want y'all to see my hands because this sounds crazy.
Sorry.
I gotta laugh too. I hope y'all can understand out here as a parent, but even just as a mom. Like, I saw somewhere on Instagram where and it was a guy who was saying it. Women weren't expected to be moms 24/7. And when I say that, I'm not saying that we choose to be moms because we're the ones who carry the life and we nurtured our bodies. We do all these different things. So I'm not saying in that regard, but at the end of the day, a mom is not supposed to lose her identity or lose who she is just because she's a mom. And the stereotypical stuff that y'all have on top of us and what y'all think we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to be and then when we start lashing out, then it's like, well, what's your problem? You asked for this. No, I didn't ask to be a single parent. I didn't ask to sit here and raise my kids by myself. And I didn't even ask when I was married to still be a single parent and manage everybody's activities and lives and all this stuff. No, we didn't ask for that. We asked for someone to sit here and be a part of our children's lives where we can tag you it, and they go about and they help out so we can have our moment. We are not supposed to be us and have no one to tag in, or when we do tag somebody in, they complain about it. And then we are made to be feeling bad because we're sitting here doing all because I want to have a moment to myself. I'm about to get real deep, and I'm
that's a word. Right
so
there.
I'm gonna bow out real. I'm gonna let you, because I'm about to start crying because this is a lot.
No, that's a word. And I get it. Like, I've been there too. I mean, my kids may not do all of the things, but let's be clear. Every single club, the various activities, taking people here, taking people there, that play almost takes me out every single semester because I got to spend money. Y'all saw me. I was like trying to steal from Peter to pay Paul, trying to get the makeup and the outfits last time. The time before that, I had to buy the outfit. I found out at the last minute, and I was like, how am I supposed to do this, and these expensive tickets also, and I have to go 2 nights. Like, I gotta go opening night and I gotta go again because that's like the rule, because my husband can't never go opening night. So I pay for me and my son. Thank God they gave us tickets this year, because I've been there. So I understand the feeling of being burnt out, and certainly having to do all of it by yourself, because unfortunately in my household, that's just life. Like, my husband he works nights, so he can't be counted on to take people back and forth, or to pick them up after this, or to pack this, or find this, or get that. That's just all mom. In addition to the 75 jobs y'all hear me talking about on this podcast, and they just get longer and more and bigger because I'm a workaholic, and I freely admit somebody got to pay for all of the activities. So I 100% get it. And I think it gets rushed under the covers. Like, it's your mom. Like, that's the blanket that covers all the I don't have and I'm not gonna get. I had to sneak away this week and get my nails done because I was like, at this point, I'm gonna throw something at somebody immediately. So I needed a moment to just take a break. Did I have the money to do this? Absolutely not. Didn't matter though. Didn't matter because I needed it for my mental health. My mental health. So I get that. But we all know there's a reason why we do this stuff, right?
And there is. It's okay. Hey, sis, it's fine. Just unmute yourself. We're ready.
Lily up in here like,
there
hey.
You go. Hey, we got another guest experience. This is the one that we were talking about many episodes back when I had our beautiful Lily. Here she is, making her hello. So yes,
she's making her debut.
But you want to know something? But this is great. Talk about it. Yeah. Managing life.
Exactly.
While trying to work. Let's go.
As you know, I was doing dog washing while we try to prepare for this. You was juggling kids' schedules and Instacart. We do it all here. But I want to bring it back to the benefits of it, right? Because we know there's reasons why we do this. Because extracurriculars, they're known for skill development and teamwork, discipline, physical activity, connection, building confidence, identifying passions. And, in my case, as in yours too, as we reach towards college age, potential scholarship opportunities, which is why my boy child got pushed into several this year. I was like, welcome to preparing for college, and you're welcome to join all of these activities, much to his chagrin. But admittedly, you can see there's some drawbacks to that too, like the stress, not just for us, but also for them. For us, the financial strain, overscheduling, negative experiences, crazy unstructured family time. Like, how do you guys assess if an activity is a good fit for your kid based on what you know and your own schedule? Does that play any role in any of that? Lily said, I'm here for the game. I'm
Lily,
here to
what
ride
you got to
mommy's
say?
lap.
What you got to say, Lily? You got experience in this? No.
So I'll go, but I honestly just base it a lot of the time off of their likes at that moment. So essentially what we'll do is I would ask, what is it that you guys want to do this school year? I'm sorry. We
No,
gonna
don't worry,
narrow
I'm sleepy.
It's okay.
It's not happening. Narrow it down from, their top 3. All right, cool. Let's pick 1 and or 2. We're not doing all 3. Enroll them in that, and then we just do our best to anchor those things around our schedule.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
Don't worry. Listen, that's why she didn't make her special guest appearance, because I made sure Auntie put her to sleep.
I was there while she was rocking her. She did it.
You sleepy, go sleep.
That's what time it is. Nap time. Night. Night, Lily Bells.
But yeah, definitely that. I understand that too, because I think I've definitely, if it was up to youngest, he'll be in everything. Like everything.
Yep.
So, and this, I'm not gonna lie, I was very blessed with the youngest being in basketball, where I'm not really paying anything. They understood what my struggle was. I gotta pay a little bit of something, but it's nothing compared to how much every other parent had to pay. And rightfully so, because I was not impressed for the first couple of games and practices. Because I was like, if I actually spent this money, I would be pissed.
You're gonna need a refund.
But it's not even that. I'm like, why are y'all not pissed? I'm like, y'all spent this money. I didn't even spend the money. I'm mad. But my girl child's definitely the one that I'm blessed with that too, because they are like family. So I also try to find things that are like family, but definitely with even the oldest. He's about to go to college and trying to find the right things, trying to find the right scholarships and things of that nature, because he's also someone who doesn't like to do activities like that. Like, he wants to do certain things, but he's, like you guys know, he's highly autistic, but he doesn't do certain activities. But he is one great, amazing artist. And there's nothing you could do or take away from that boy. So, and then the 10-year-old, that's the reason why we picked the school the middle school he wants to go to, because it has all the activities that he actually wants to get into. Now, am I excited that next year this is gonna
triple?
No, I'm not excited, because I'm not excited because all right, this is giving me anxiety just thinking about what's gonna happen.
Okay.
So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot. So for me, I try to pick it's hard. You also want to go off their likes at this time, so similar to what Kevelyn said. But also I go about my budget, because I'm not Santa. I don't have an unlimited supply of funds. Contrary to popular belief, as our kids think it grows on trees, and I have to remind them that that's why mom has 75 jobs and why she literally works from sun up to sundown, so that you can have what you need and what you want and what you want to enjoy, because often it is out the budget. Like, I remember my boy child coming to me and being like, he was in the orchestra for a long time, and they were going to go to New Orleans, I believe. And
I remember
yeah,
that.
the following year. And I was like, okay, I'll make it work. And he was like, Mom, I really know that this is going to be too much. And for me, because that's the kid that I mentioned, he doesn't really ask for much. So for me, I was like, you can do whatever you want and we will make it work on the back end. Now that same conversation, what I had with my husband was very much like, listen, looks like both of us about to be picking up some additional work because we need to find a way to do this. Now, fortunately, we didn't have to do it because we moved states. And so he came here and he no longer does orchestra, which breaks my heart a little because he was really good at it. But beyond that, he did do other things, right? Like he picked up clubs and things like that. And of course was pushed into other things. But none of those things cost money. So, I mean, other than the occasional snacks for their for their events and things like that, it really hasn't been too strenuous for sure. You okay?
That's nothing.
Yeah, I'm great.
Okay. That being said, so to talk strategies about how to manage these multiple activities, like for you, Tanesha, like you said, it's you doing all of this and it's a lot of stress. So what are some things that you think we can brainstorm that might help navigate some of this? Like I know you mentioned like leaning on other parents to help get kids here and there as needed. What are some other things that you think might be helpful as we just
The co-parent actually co-parents.
Okay, yeah.
Can we do that? Can we get that there? Can we get somebody to actually get the co-parent who actually knows how to co-parent? Like, I need y'all to help me co-parent. I know I said this before, but I really need y'all to reach out to the co-parent and tell the co-parent to co-parent.
Okay, we don't need y'all to actually reach out to the co-parent. That's just
because I'm not gonna tell you who he. I'm not gonna tell you who he is.
That's we're not.
But I mean,
doing that.
I mean, but but I'm just saying, like that's. If that's what we need, that's what I need. Like I need. So maybe y'all can give me suggestions on how having these conversations to maybe motivate. Because I did have a conversation to motivate, and that only worked for a week, and then his feelings got hurt, and then that's been that. So I don't know. I don't know. Strategy. I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't
have any.
I'm going to ask Kevelyn too, but I think, like you said, certainly getting other support from the co-parent, but if that's not foreseeable, could we not pare down some of the activities? Can we not say, like, I know we want to do things. I know we don't want to take things away from our children, right? But as you go planning forward, can you not, like, maybe say, okay, listen, based on the calendar, this is the only thing that will fit for this entire, like, time period, and then we can revisit that potentially. Do you think that's an option, or do you feel like that takes more away from them?
I feel like for them, especially those two, it takes away from them. Because the other two don't really ask for much other than some video games and art supplies. And normally, and I feel bad when I tell my 10-year-old, like right now he wants to Switch, and I'm like, I can't get it to you right now. Because normally, if I wasn't in the position I was in, he would have been had to Switch. Like someone would, either I would have bought it or someone else would have bought it, because he actually does amazing. Like he pulled his grades up. He's the mature one out of all my kids. He's the mature one, and I definitely, when he wants a game, like I definitely try my best to get him a game, because he's just like your boy child. Whereas like, why wouldn't I want to sit here and give you the world right now? Sure. Yeah. So I think for me, maybe depending on the school year, we may have to, like, I may take y'all suggestions where we pick one or two things, and then that's what it is. So maybe I already know he wants to do soccer, so like having soccer, and then I know there's a club he wants to do, but then like if he can't do soccer, because I'm pretty sure he has to do like a tryout, and if he doesn't get on the team, what's the other replacement that you would want to do, and how does that look? But the other two, my daughter wants to be a dancer professionally, so I can't cut dance out. Like that's, I can't. Now gymnastics, when she had gymnastics, that also was free, so I didn't really have to that wasn't something I really had to spend my money for.
Okay.
Dance is the one I had to spend my money for, or like getting the extra stuff, like the costumes and all that stuff. I feel like dance is more into it because you gotta buy costumes, you gotta buy the equipment, jeez, the stuff. Well, I mean, it's equipment,
Well,
ballet
it is
shoes, tap
equipment,
shoes,
right?
jazz shoes, because their feet grows and you gotta buy new ones. That's why
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind of stressed now. Nope, we're not gonna do it because I'm kind of like, does her shoes fit? Because if they don't,
Are there
she will have some hurt
opportunities
feet.
to look into maybe like reselling items? Like I'm sure you're not
Maybe.
the other parent who has needed like support. Certainly, we hear this a lot with a lot of people who have kids and different things and hoping for the best and fingers crossed. But maybe there's a resale opportunity because people, their kids grow out of stuff and maybe it's still viable and you just don't have that. And I think there's certainly places maybe we can look online or whatnot to look for that. Because maybe it doesn't all have to be new. It could just be new to you. Might be a way to ease up on some of that cost. Any other ideas, Kevelyn?
As far as balancing, I would say essentially you just focusing on using your village, if you have one.
I'm about to say, I'm trying to build that because my village, who I'm staring at, are miles away.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Because I all know we all lived in the same place. I wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah. We would have figured it out. But especially because I work from home, right? So I can I was talking to one of my coworkers today. I said, and I'm thrilled that I get to just be able to sit in the car and work from the car. So for all the doctor's appointments, like I said, my girl child was super sick. So I started this job in January, and I would say from January up until even this month, it's been, I would say even this month, like I had a couple more doctor's appointments this month too that were back to back. It was very much at the doctor, at the doctor, at the doctor, at the doctor, still at the doctor, going to the doctor, going to a different doctor, going to a different specialist, coming back from that specialist, trying something new, going to a different doctor. Like it was insane. And I didn't take that. The only time I took off was when I was sick. That was it. So I was just like, I'm gonna just have to take it with me. And I got real mobile. Got a little Wi-Fi in the vehicle. We took multiple computers with us to get things done. We brought like a power, one of those power banks, and then also like I'm borrowing my husband's like adapter where it's a plug adapter for the car. I was like, I need all the supplies because I have to work in the car. Now, did that cost extra money? Yeah, it did. But like you said, we do what we have to do. So I definitely understand. I'm looking at different resources.
I'll look. I mean, I know I could probably resell her things, but I'm also one that I have to get it out my house.
Yeah.
So I can't let it build because when I do, it's building and then it doesn't go anywhere. I can have all the thoughts in the plan. So I can try that. I mean, I'll look. I mean, I know like right now I am working on building a village. So for one of, like right now, like I said, my daughter's dance teacher, she takes her to dance for me. And she does, like she just took her hair out for me. So I didn't have to worry about taking her hair out. And she actually combed it and put it in some braids. Cool. So then it's actually like, all I gotta do is take them out and put them in a ponytail or whatever until she goes to get her hair done. So, I mean, that's a plus. Like she has been so far God sent. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to get emotional on this podcast. I keep saying this is happening, but I'm trying not to. But she's definitely been a godsend in such a short period of time. To especially
all the love every week. We gotta send hugs virtually every week.
Oh my God, you did it again.
Yeah. I feel like I'm Oprah on here. I got her crying every episode. It's not my fault. We all discuss these topics together. People.
I know, but I didn't expect me to. Oh my goodness, family! It's one of those things, right? When you start building your village from scratch. Mm-hmm. And you don't know how that's going to go, and you try your best to build it in. And when I say that this particular person has been a godsend, she has. And
And you gonna make me cry. We discussed this.
I know. um she's been a godsend. And um and like, especially to my girl child, like, to even find out certain things she was doing for me, and I never even knew her at the time. Like, even when it came to her getting, like, her not letting me brush her hair, like, she gets to the point where now she, whatever ever happened, she hates her hair getting done. And I found out just from us talking that she used to be one that would actually do her hair in school and go buy stuff and do her hair in school, and I never knew that. And I was just like, she was like, yo, no, she's my baby. I can't let her walk out here looking crazy. And it just makes me go, like, there are people out there that actually,
That love on you a little bit. I mean, I've experienced it too. I can definitely tell you when my kids were little, there were always angels kind of around. People who would buy coats if they happened to see me struggling. People who would, you know, the girl child, the majority of her clothes came because I was at work, and they were like, we're going to give you I had bags and bags and bags of clothes because they just wanted to help and offer support. So I definitely understand having to build a village and hoping for the best, but at the same time, just being real grateful for that love that you get. I think a lot of that is just blessings coming back to you. You know what I mean? Like, the love and the joy that you give in the world, a lot of that is just returning to you. And that's nothing to cry about. It's a great thing to be grateful to everyone for being that part of your life.
yeah, I know. I think it's one of those things when you just take the moment to realize, um, you know, when you talk about it, when you, I think, I'm someone who is very sensitive and emotional, but I also, as I've gotten older, try not to feel. So I think when I start feeling, it's one of those where it's like I have no choice but to let it out because now I've been suppressing it for so long. Um, but so like I said, that, I mean, even like just thinking about why we're talking, like, um, she even feeds my kids. Like, and sometimes I don't have it. Sometimes they eat everything out of home, and I gotta wait until I can get the finances to really feed them, or I give them something quick. So it's like, to know that she just does that just out of the kindness of our heart is one of those, like, and I don't have to even say much, and it's just like I appreciate it. So so yeah, so that you know
It
yeah,
means a lot.
I don't even know what we're talking about no more.
It
I just
means a
started
lot.
crying.
No. I mean, we talked a lot about the struggles of just extracurriculars and how that can cause, stress on financial strain and all of that. And how do you deal with it? And I think what you shared was really honest and important because you're never the only one out there. Like I said, I've definitely gone through times where it was some lean years out here. And, if not for the grace of God and some people who just decided to love on me at that one time, strangers even. I remember strangers giving me stuff, and I was like, I'm not too proud to take it because we really, really need it. And there's just something beautiful about the human spirit and just supporting one another because you never know when it's going to be your turn to need that support. So you should always, look towards giving back. So with that saying, we went through a lot today. You know what I mean? Like, we done been through, I'm sorry, y'all at home. We done been through a lot today. We done went through emotions. Nothing like our kids to get us feeling all the feels.
Very true.
Nothing like the thought of, adulting and figuring out how to keep them safe, right? It's just a lot on any caregiver right now, whether you're a mom or a dad or a grandparent who happens to be, caring for someone that you love. There's just a lot in this world. So it's important to take a moment to feel like you're not alone. I think that's what this was mostly for, is to just share, like, we're just like you guys. We're having the same kind of struggles, and we want you to know that we feel you and we support you, and that we're sending up those prayers for you if no one else is, because we all been there. We've all been there. Some of us still going through it as we say it. So this is our opportunity. We want to thank Kevelyn for joining us today for this very deep and inspiring conversation. We hope that she'll come back and hang out with us some more.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
You're welcome. And then we want to remind you that this is your moment to hit that subscribe button. So if you felt moved, that button will come across the screen at some point. Hit that bell on your local YouTube and make us one of your priority podcasts. We also want to remind you that you can find us on lots of socials, including X and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Threads too. Where can they hear our podcasts, Tanesha?
So you guys can hear us on Pocket Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, on Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, and on Spotify. I'm like, my brain was like, I did not say Spotify. And and you can definitely check us out on our website at www.maineventmamaspodcast.com.
Beautiful job today.
Oh, thanks. You're welcome.
Yeah,
thanks,
beautiful job. And with that, I also want to let you guys know we have a new spot on the website. We're opening a couple new things, including a blog. So keep your eyes out on some mama words that we'll be sharing with you. And then also, if you want to join us, there is a spot on the website for you too. You can register to be a guest, and we'll be in touch to find out when we get you scheduled and hanging out with us on our special moment here. So with that, I want to say,
wait, one more thing. And if you really want to not just follow Main Event Mamas, but if you want to follow us individually plus Main Event Mamas, because you never know what we're going to post on ours.
That's true.
You can check us out at Tanesha_ma pod at I was trying to remember. And then you can check out Kiara at Kiara Mom Pod, and those are both on Instagram. I think you got Twitter. I don't remember, but
And Facebook. On Twitter, you can find me at Content Vixens. That's where you can find me there. Find out about my life beyond the mamas on that one, and all the thoughts that involve, the many other things that are interests in my life. And so with that, I want to say we're not new to this.
We're so true to this. And this was Main Event Mamas.